And we're back with another edition of the Scotty Knows Show. Our first option for a guest kind of fell through. He works on the farm, so he probably doesn't have cell service. So called in the backup. But honestly, he's actually a guy I've wanted to get on the show for quite some time. It's Nick Harr. Am I pronouncing that right?
You're pronouncing it correctly.
Okay. I believe this is actually the first time we've ever actually physically spoken to each other.
I think you're correct. Yeah. It's always just been through Facebook and Twitter. This is for knowing each other for what, four or 5 years now. First time actually getting to talk.
Yeah, I think we know each other through was it Tyler?
Yep. Through Mills and that wrestling group that we were a part of.
Yep. You said you don't do any music anymore, but do you have anything that you want to plug?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'll pick up my guitar again at some point. I've been fiddling around about it. I took about a year and a half off from doing that to focus on my own business, doing like podcast production, video production and whatnot. And that's kind of been keeping me going for a while, but you can always check out, I do have an album out and a couple of singles. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere you download music. It's just under Nick Harr, Nikharr. And yeah, that's about it right now. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, but stuff that I'm working out, so I can't really talk about it right now.
Okay.
Cool stuff coming soon.
Okay. You're a big Seattle sports fan from what I remember.
Yes. Huge Seattle sports fan.
What's the reason for that?
That's where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
Originally born here, but packed up and moved to Seattle when I was little. Lived up and down the West Coast, but Seattle has just always kind of felt like home. That's where I spent most of my time. My old man worked. He just retired this year, worked for Boeing. And so we went wherever they told us. So whether it was up in Seattle working on 47s or living down the desert of California working on B-2 bombers, we just kind of did whatever.
So you've been to I believe you told me you've been to games at the old Kingdom.
Oh yeah, man. So like my favorite memories of any sports is I was at Ken Griffey Jr.'s first and last games with the Mariners.
Holy crap.
When I it's really embarrassing to say because I don't know where it's at right now.
Okay.
But I have way back when Junior first started. There's the Kingdom. Well, there was the Kingdom, and then you have the Mariners parking, which was like a giant tent kind of on the parking lot. But some of the like lower level guys didn't get to park there, so they just parked out in parking where everybody else did, and that's where Junior was parked. And there was one night. This was when when he was very first starting out. So I mean, he was already hot, but my dad and I were leaving a game one night, and I saw Alvin Davis walking across the parking lot, and I ran over to get his autograph because he was my favorite. And I was so bummed out when he went to Japan, but so I went over to get Alvin Davis's autograph, and I looked over and I was like, "You're Ken Griffey Jr." He's like, "Yeah, man, how's it going?" And I was like, "It's going good." I was like, "Can I have your autograph too?" And I had his rookie card, and so I had him sign the rookie card, and it's in my house somewhere, but it's packed away. But yeah, so I've got Alvin Davis in Junior, and we used to be able to get Mariners tickets through my dad's work for like $5 a ticket, and so we would go during the season. We would go to as many games as we could. And it was great because he'd sit up from like third base, and Randy Johnson would be right there, like warming up in front of you. You got Edgar Martinez, Tino Martinez, Joey Cora, like Junior, Jay Buhner, everybody just like hanging out right there. And it was just, it was fun, man. It was a cool way to grow up.
Oh my goodness. So does that mean you're also a Seahawks fan?
I am.
That's unfortunate.
I've been a Seahawks fan since before they got good.
Okay, so like Steve Largent days.
Yep, Steve Largent, Hasselhoff. It just kind of came with being in the town. I was a Mariners fan, so got to be a Seahawks fan by default. I was a big Sonics fan. Yeah, we'll never give the Thunder any love.
I can't wait for the day that they return, and I think it could happen courtesy of an old Mariner.
I'm hoping it's soon. I'm hoping it's really soon. But yeah, Seattle just has always had a place in my heart, and so. But yeah, Mariners. I'm excited for the day that I can take my kids to Mariners games. I'm hoping we might try and do that next summer. So that'll be fun.
Some things that we missed from last week that we forgot to talk about. We're seeing the reemergence of one of my favorite actors of all time. His name is Brendan Fraser. He's getting roles in Scorsese movies, it looks like. Thank goodness. Like, everybody seemingly online loves this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you grew up around the time that we did, Brendan Fraser was such a huge part of your life, from the Mummy movies to Blast from the Past to,
George of the Jungle.
And seeing that clip when he teared up when that girl told him about how much the internet's behind him, like, man, if that doesn't warm your heart, like, nothing will. Will. But no, he deserves everything good that he's getting, because he's such a dude. Yeah, he's such a great guy.
He's great in Doom Patrol, which is out on, I believe it's on HBO Max. That's something I would suggest watching. He's also pretty good in, I believe he was in a movie. Was it Biodome?
No, he was in Encino Man.
Encino Man, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, which apparently they're in talks of doing Encino Man 2. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know why. It really doesn't need to be made.
Wait, was he in Airheads?
Yep.
That's the movie I'm thinking of. That's movie
part of the Lone Rangers. Yep. Yeah, I love that movie.
Him and Sandler and Buscemi, I think.
Yep.
We also didn't talk, mainly because we don't talk about this kind of stuff, but there is trouble brewing in Afghanistan. Taliban took over the country again. We're going to have to go back into Afghanistan, aren't we?
Not being of a military background, it's hard to understand that. I have a lot of friends that were in Afghanistan, that were in Iraq when it was heavy, and hearing their stories and how they're reacting to it. Honestly, I imagine eventually there's going to be some kind of U.S. presence there again.
Yep.
How soon that is, I don't know. It's a shame that it's happening. I think it was pretty well known that it was going to happen as soon as we pulled out. There's so much that went into that is, I don't know. I could spend too much time getting irritated about that.
There's a podcast that I don't really listen to, but it's called Zero Block 30. They went in depth on it from a veteran's perspective, and it was eye-opening, everything that they said. So if you get a chance, listen to that episode. They're great people.
Yeah, for sure.
Now to our main topics. Did you watch AEW Rampage on Friday?
I did not. I actually don't have cable, so I just read everything as it comes through. I saw the highlights. Okay. So yeah, I knew pretty much what was going on there. So we can dive into that.
Okay. So Christian won the Impact World Championship in the first match, beating Kenny Omega, and then Fuego del Sol got a contract. I don't know. Have you seen this Fuego del Sol guy?
Yeah, dude, he's dope.
He reminds me of a young Mysterio.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely got it. I'm glad that they gave him the opportunity. I know a lot of people are saying that he's had a contract with AEW for quite a while.
Kind of has.
That's all Meltzer saying that, which I mean,
Yeah.
take what he says with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
But no, it was just cool. That whole moment with Sammy Guevara coming down and giving his buddy the contract. And I think it's cool that Christian won the Impact title. I don't know that the timing is right. Only because if you look at the big picture, with AEW having control over Kenny Omega's finishes.
Yep.
I think having the belt collector losing his belts in rapid succession would have been way better than him doing the job on Friday night and then going over on Andrade on Saturday night. Yeah. Especially when you have the star power of Ric Flair showing up and making
that was wild.
Moment. And
that was wild.
Yeah, for Flair to show up and waive his fee so he could be there for Andrade.
Really?
And then for Andrade to not go over made no sense to me. And I think that was just really bad booking on AEW's end. I mean, I would much rather see Omega go from the belt collector to losing everything except for the AEW title and then just holding on to it and being so desperate. I think that could be such a cool evolution in Omega's character, because I've been a fan of Omega since way back in the day in Ring of Honor. When he was doing the Hadouken as his finisher. And I think one of his, I think it was like 2007, 2008. He had one of the best matches with Bryan Danielson. Wow. And I don't know if you ever saw it. You can find it on YouTube every once in a while. It gets taken down quite a bit, but he challenges him to like tests of strength and just like all of these other just really ridiculous things in the middle of the match. And then they go into the whole American Dragon skit, which if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but it's one of the funniest and best matches I've ever seen. And I was a huge Ring of Honor mark in the mid 2000s, late 2000s. And so, yeah, I thought that was an amazing match.
I mean, you said you didn't have cable, but do you mind if we talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite tonight?
Yeah, for sure, man. I just got home.
Okay.
So I don't even know what happened. So you can fill me in.
I'll fill you in on a little bit. Sammy Guevara got engaged because the show was in Houston. He had his girlfriend there, had her in the middle of the ring and proposed. And so congrats to Sammy Guevara.
That's way cool.
The Young Bucks beat the Jurassic Express, but with the help of a lot of people. But because of all the help they got, there's going to be a tag team eliminator tournament. And the winner of that will face the Young Bucks, I think, at All Out in a steel cage match.
Okay.
So, you have the Jurassic Express. I think FTR might be in it. Their name is escaping me right now. But Lucha Brothers, they're in it.
Okay.
So there's a few teams in it. Tony Schiavone rattled them off, and I couldn't remember all of them. So
that happens.
But there's going to be a tournament with all those people, and it's going to conclude with a steel cage match against the Bucks.
Okay.
So I like
really
that.
Hoping whoever wins that goes over on the Bucks, because I'd like to see somebody else in the at the top of the mountain. I think to me, if it's not like Cody Rhodes or the Bucks or Kenny Omega, I'd like to see some of these executive vice presidents not in title roles.
Yep.
Or in the spotlight, start giving it to the younger guys and start developing talent and stop talking about WWE.
Yep. Thank you.
I love AEW. I think their product is fantastic, but the constant reminder that WWE lives in their head rent free it takes me out of it. It'd be way cooler if they just stayed in their lane and did their thing. And I think that would give WWE way more run for their money. Like if they realize that it's like, oh, AEW is creating their own AEW universe. They're not recognizing us anymore. What do we need to do to try and stay in their head? And I think that's going to create better TV all around. But anyway, what else happened?
Sting and Darby Allin beat 2.0, which I believe they were called something in NXT. I think it was Everrise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he put both of them in a double Scorpion Deathlock, which was kind of cool.
Sweet.
Paul White came out and at All Out, it's going to be him versus QT Marshall. That's going to be fun.
Okay.
And then Jericho lost to MJF.
Oh,
tapped
really?
out. Yeah, he tapped out.
That kind of had to happen though, right?
It did.
I mean, it's Jericho, so he's always gonna put over the talent.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I think he gets wrestling more than anyone, and MJF is just so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy, man. Like I hated him at first because he knew how to do his job so well.
I know.
I was like, this guy pisses me off. And then I was like, no, wait, that's how good he is. Like he's a throwback, like to the golden era so well, like sticking to kayfabe and everything. It's awesome.
And Jericho does probably have a little bit of a band tour to go on, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm surprised he is there right now. I figured he would have been back in Sturgis again.
I know, right?
But I know that's why the Butcher and the Blade have been absent, because I think Awesome Andy is on tour with Every Time I Die right now.
Okay.
And so yeah, the Butcher is from Every Time I Die. I don't know if you're familiar with that band, but yeah, it was funny when I saw that he started wrestling, because one of my old bands, Megarthea, they were Every Time I Die was one of our biggest inspirations as a band.
Really?
And yeah, seeing like their old DVDs and everything, like their old tour videos and all that. He was just such a funny dude. And then you see that he starts wrestling on the indies, and then he becomes part of the Butcher and the Blade and gets signed to AEW. And you're like, that's weird. And yeah, he's so good at what he does.
So now we're going to break down all the SummerSlam and NXT matches for this weekend. So we're going to go one by one, and you're going to tell me who you think is going to win.
Okay. Who I think is going to win, or who I want to win?
Both.
Okay.
Both. The first match I have listed for SummerSlam is the Raw Women's Championship triple threat: Nikki ASH, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley. Who do you got?
I mean, I totally see Charlotte going over.
Sames.
Because they're going to try and make her happy, because she's unhappy in WWE right now and she wants to be with Andrade and her dad.
Yep.
So I think they're going to do whatever they can to make her happy. Is that who I want to win? Absolutely not. I would like to actually see Nikki ASH, Ash, Cross, whatever they're calling her this week. I'd like to see her retain and actually get a run with the title, like get away from Charlotte and Rhea and actually let her do what she does, because she's a phenomenal wrestler. And from like ICW and even NXT, I mean, she was great. And I think if they actually gave her space, like she would prove a lot to Vince and everybody else. But unfortunately, I've got Charlotte going over on this one.
I think I actually have Nikki.
Do you?
Yeah. Although if Charlotte wins, I can see it happening where it's not the next night on Raw anymore. On Raw, on the next Raw, we could possibly have a return. Somebody didn't actually lose their title.
Yeah. I mean, if they go right back into Becky and Charlotte, that would be really disappointing.
I know, but
I think both of them are phenomenal wrestlers. I don't want to take away anything from Charlotte. I think she's great. I think Becky's great, but there's so much unused talent right now that could be making a name for themselves, but they're too afraid to do it. Why, I don't know. But no, yeah, I want Nikki Ash to go over, but I fully see Charlotte winning. If not, they're gonna make it to be like a fluke win again, like they've been doing to her. And huge disservice, and I can go off on a tangent on that. But let's move on to the next match.
The number 2 match is Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship.
I got Reigns going over.
Yeah, it's same. It's gonna be phenomenal though.
Oh yeah, I'm super stoked for it.
Oh my god,
I popped so hard when Cena came back at Money in the Bank. Like I was sitting up in my living room by myself. Like my wife and kids had gone to bed, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, oh, that was cool. You know, like another good Reigns match. And then yeah, his music hit, and I jumped off the couch. I was like, no. But no, between like him promoting Suicide Squad and Peacemaker getting his own show, he's here to do the job and put over Reigns. Like if Cena wins, that'd be weird, but it'd be cool, but it'd be weird.
One thing that I didn't know on this, I'm sure it's probably going to be added, maybe Baron Corbin and Big E. Baron Corbin took Big E's Money in the Bank contract on SmackDown the other night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was
It would be kind of poetic for him to cash in on John Cena though. Baron.
Oh yeah, it'd be cool. Oh my gosh, I would love to watch Big E cash in on Cena.
I would love
if they do add it. I mean, obviously it's going to be Corbin losing. I think probably the story they're telling there is going to be Corbin trying to like regain his crown and King of the Ring, which if they don't crown Xavier Woods as King of the Ring, I'm going to be mad. Like that dude has been campaigning to be King of the Ring for years.
Hold up, they're having King of the Ring again?
Oh yeah, man! They just announced they're doing King of the Ring with the finals in Saudi Arabia.
Oh God.
Yeah, which is a bummer. They're doing King of the Ring and they're introducing Queen of the Ring.
Ooh.
And the Queen of the Ring finals are going to be in Saudi Arabia as well.
What?
And so yeah. But if you can't tell, if you look right back here,
yep,
the New Day are my boys.
Okay.
Xavier Woods can do no wrong to me. Like I've been a fan of his since he was Consequences Creed in TNA. And E and Kofi, like I just New Day, they can do no wrong. And I will defend that. I will die on that hill.
Xavier Woods can do no wrong, but he still has me blocked on Twitter.
If you watch the episode of Table of Three, obviously you did something to make him mad.
I did. I made one too many Page jokes. That was my bad. Unblock me, Xavier. But we have Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg for the WWE Championship. Now, we talked about Big E cashing in. Imagine him cashing in on Goldberg, his dream opponent.
Oh, gosh, I didn't even think about that. Big sweaty men slapping meat.
And on top of that, who's on Raw? You got a reunion of the New Day.
And see, that's the thing they need to do. And I mean, I think that's the story they're telling. Because I mean, I see him going after Lashley to make up for, like how Kofi's just been getting destroyed, how Woods got destroyed, which I think that match of Money in the Bank, like as brutal as it was, that match needed to happen. Like, and it couldn't have been a better guy than like Kofi, who understands how to tell a story, and understands how wrestling works. But yeah, to see one of my favorites just get absolutely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another one of those tough things because I don't see Reigns dropping the title, and I don't see them keeping both main titles on the same guy walking out on one of the big four. So I can see Goldberg going over again. I don't want Goldberg to win. My money's on Lashley.
Same.
I think the cooler story is to have Lashley go over on Goldberg because Goldberg's contract is only 2 matches a year. And have Lashley go over on Goldberg and then Big E step up to Lashley. And that's a story they should tell until Survivor Series.
I saw a really good meme today because on Raw, Goldberg pointed at his son and said, "You're the reason I came back." And instead of his son, it's just a bunch of money.
Did you see the one that I posted on Facebook of Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes, I love that. I love that.
It's the creepiest meme I've ever seen.
The Usos are defending the SmackDown tag titles against the Mysterios.
Usos all the way.
Same.
Yeah.
Some of these you don't have to expand on.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, it's obvious. Like they're telling a story, and plus, Usos are one of the best tag teams to ever do it. So, yeah.
I'm wondering when we're going to eventually get the Mysterio versus Mysterio match, because they want that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get some more footing under Dominic before they do that. I think he's still a little too green.
Yeah.
His matches are still a little iffy. He's botched a few endings, but no, it's gonna happen. I know there's a mask design for Dominic.
Ooh.
I know at some point he's gonna put on the mask, and I think they've trademarked the name Prince Mysterio. Which I think would be really cool, unless they decided not to go with that and just keep him a tag team with his dad. But I think at some point, I think the mask is going to come on and he's going to turn on his dad, and it's going to be awesome.
Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Does this go on last?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Seems like my
I can hear you.
Something just went out weird on
your end.
On my setup. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. I'll see if I can fix it. And we're back. Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
Oh, no,
I don't know. I don't know what match goes on last. I would assume Cena reigns.
That's what I would think.
Since the women headline Money in the Bank.
And Mania
would make sense. My choice is Bianca Belair.
Same.
I would much rather see Bianca than Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a hard one. I feel like that one could go either way.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know. I want Bianca. I know they pulled all of their house matches for the rest of the week.
Okay.
Because they were supposed to wrestle each other like twice, I think, leading up to the match, the house show circuit, but they pulled both of them from all shows out of fear of injury, which
smart.
Yeah, it is. It's really smart. I think house shows leading up to pay-per-view matches don't need to have the pay-per-view matches on them. But also I know Sasha has a track record of injuring people at house shows. So if they want to keep her and Bianca away for Bianca to be safe, that's cool with me,
Getting injured on a house show, that sounds like something that somebody in our next match is known for. We've got Seth Rollins versus Edge. That is kind of a toss-up for me.
That's a hard one.
Again, we talked about Becky earlier. Do they even pull the trigger on Edge and Beth versus Becky and Seth?
You think that's probably going to be a WrestleMania match.
Okay.
So I'm sure they're probably going to be telling this story for a while because that seems like a WrestleMania match.
Yep.
Same with, in the same vein of Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki Bella. Do I want to see it go on that long? Absolutely not.
No.
But and I don't see Beth coming up for a match like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Well, the thing is her and Edge have never tagged together, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to see it either. Like, it's just
okay.
I think like Becky and Beth would be a cool match on its own.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that would need to have the shadow casting over it of having Edge and Rollins in the match. As far as this match, I'm gonna put my money on Seth.
Ooh.
I mean, I know they're telling the story that Edge needs to get his wins back, but I don't see this being the end of it. So I think Seth is going to go over this time. Edge will get his win back, and then they'll have the rubber match way down the line.
Eventually, Seth will be in the title picture, I think, at some point, right?
I think it needs to be. I think, and I mean, he could be Roman's next big opponent. I mean, after this, what do we got in September? Is it
Extreme Rules?
Is it? Okay. I know they were talking about moving stuff around, so it might be Extreme Rules because they're putting. When are they putting Hell in a Cell?
Didn't they?
They already did Hell in a Cell. They're
switching
to something else, but yeah, I think anyway.
Yeah.
No, I can see it going. Well, no, because we got October coming up too.
Yep.
See, because it would have made sense had they put Hell in a Cell still in October.
I know, right?
Seth go over now, Edge go over at Extreme Rules because that is his world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he built, TLC, and then had the rubber match, the big blow off at Hell in a Cell would be the perfect story to tell. Because I would love to see Edge and Seth as much as I don't want to see Edge in the cell for health concerns. But
I think it would be awesome.
I think he could. Do I want to see him do a bump off the cell and
no
and wreck himself? Not at all. So
I don't want to see him anywhere near a ladder.
No. And I mean, I hope that's not the story they're telling, that it's going to continue on, but I don't see this being a one-off match.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, I like to see like Rollins win and then go on to be Roman's next opponent. Because they need somebody fresh, and I think it would be a really cool story to see two guys from the Shield, like going after the Universal title.
Who turns in that situation though?
I don't think either guy does.
I think it's a heel versus heel match.
Yeah, man. I think it's just heel versus heel to see who the crowd sides with. I would love to see it.
Okay.
It would go, which we had mentioned, like favorite. It'd be like a reverse role of Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in 95 at SummerSlam. When they were both huge faces, it was face versus face. I think they could do it as heel versus heel and just see like the two big evils coming together and button heads. I think that would be way awesome.
All right.
So yeah, I'm sticking with it. Seth wins to go on to Roman, even though he's probably not done with Edge.
Let's go a little quickly here through the next three. Okay. Sheamus versus Damian Priest for the U.S. Championship.
Damian Priest.
I can actually see Sheamus somehow retaining. I
would love it, but it's got to be on Damian Priest, so that way the Miz and Morrison have something to do every Wednesday or every Monday.
True.
They could chase the U.S. title.
Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal with Jinder's friend. I think that was Veer and Shanky. I think that's their names.
Jinder Mahal.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I would
not clean, but I think it'll be Jinder Mahal. I think it's going to be one of those overbooked. Shanky and the other guy get tossed out of the ring for doing too much, or they steal McIntyre's.
Well, no, they're banned from ringside.
Oh, are they banned from ringside already?
Yeah.
They'll make it down there somehow.
Or do you call the Great Khali to come down?
Oh, for no reason. I want to see him just come down and like dance and then leave. But no, I think Jinder's going to win with the Colossus. And I'm of the small minority that I like Jinder Mahal.
Okay.
I thought his title run was
it was a lot better
great.
than I thought.
His entrance, his champion entrance when he stepped out and it goes from all black to like the color and everything following him and then everything lighting up. Like he was a champion. That dude put in the work. And so, yeah, to have two guys from 3MB, I'm going to go with Mahal. What about you?
McIntyre. I mean, he hasn't gotten, I feel like he hasn't gotten a pay-per-view win in a while.
No, I don't think so. But yeah.
Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie.
Alexa Bliss winning.
Yeah.
With Piper Niven, because I'm not gonna call her by her WWE name. It annoys me.
Yeah.
With Piper Niven turning into Lily.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
That's what I'm going with.
I like that.
Yep. And then they can do whatever they want with Eva Marie. I don't care, but that's where I'm going.
And finally, a match which I think could very possibly steal the show. AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team titles.
RK Bro.
Same.
But I think that's going to be the match of the night.
Yeah.
Like you put Orton and Styles in anything and it's going to be gold. You add Riddle in. You can't really say anything about Omos because he's Omos, he's still learning, but his presence is cool. Like I love the big giant guy presence. But yeah, I think RK Bro.
Have you ever heard him like speak normally?
Who is that?
Or Omos.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, like his laugh is the best.
Oh yeah, I like watching him on TikTok.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah, he's great. I'd love to see Styles and Omos retain, but my money's on RK Bro. They have to have that huge send the crowd home happy moment, and I think that's going to add to it.
Yeah.
So
and I've been saying this for the past maybe 2 months. I think Matt Riddle. I'm gonna call him Matt Riddle forever.
He could be Matt Riddle. That's who he is.
Yeah. That's his. I think that's probably his God-given name. I think Riddle's been the best part of Raw for the past 2 months.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's even back when he was in PWG. The dude's just solid. I don't know much of his UFC and MMA career. But seeing the stuff that he did in PWG and then coming up to NXT, I thought he was one of the best there, like right out the gate. But yeah, everything he does, he cracks me up.
I first saw him in, I think, MLW. And it was him and the guy who ended up becoming Isaiah Swerve Scott in a match. And it was like 30 minutes of just two people just, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think PWG, I saw one. It was just one of those crazy, stupid, overbooked indie matches with like Matt Riddle, the Young Bucks, Keith Lee.
Oh my God.
It was ridiculous. I can't even remember who else was in there. I think it was like a 6-man match, but it just turned into one of those ones where everybody's doing their finisher on everybody. Lee's pouncing everybody out of the ring. And, but yeah, it was just entertaining as heck. It was awesome.
And now to NXT Takeover 36, which will be on Sunday. That's going to be weird. I'm not going to lie. That's going to be really weird.
Yeah. Reversing the roles. I feel like this is going to be the farewell to NXT.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, I don't either. But
yeah, I mean the fact that they didn't even give it a fancy name. I don't like that.
Yeah, when it's following one of the big four, like, yeah, It's a bummer.
I think the reason why SummerSlam was on Saturday, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm sure the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders have something going on in that stadium.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because it's football season. So
is it? Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, NXT Takeover, the first match I have written down here. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship. If you saw NXT last night, as we're taping this, that was Tuesday night. Dragunov is entering in with some stitches, it looks like.
Yeah.
Caught a little bit of a gusher in a match against I think it was Roderick Strong.
Yep.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna say Dragunov.
Same.
I wasn't a big fan of his like no selling Strong's knee last night.
Yeah.
But no, I think Walter's been champion long enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was gonna happen, a couple months ago. But especially with Walter being injured. But yeah, I don't see him retaining.
And then we have Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship.
Joe all the way.
You think so?
Oh yeah, they're with them sending Kross up to go 50-50 with Hardy for the next 3 months. I see Joe. Joe's gonna be. I think he's going to be the guy to carry it over into what they're trying to turn NXT into.
Okay.
But no, I'm not a fan of Karrion Kross in NXT. I think he sticks out like a sore thumb. I wasn't a huge fan of Killer Kross in Impact. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. The guy's a good wrestler.
He is.
But I think that that match with Pete Dunne and Cole and Kyle O'Reilly that they had just really showed how he can't hang in NXT.
Yeah.
He's very much a WWE guy.
Yeah.
And I think seeing, like one of the big things that I saw was like how huge he looked in the match with those guys. And then when you see him in the ring with Jeff Hardy and you're like, oh, you just kind of look like a middleweight mid-carder. But no, my money's on Joe.
Yeah, I'll say this. If we don't get a Karrion Kross with Scarlet, I'm out. I need Scarlet to enjoy Karrion Kross.
I think, and having his intro change, having everything change, like, which is all just Vince being Vince, but from what I gather, I think the story that they're trying to tell is he's not Karrion Kross without Scarlet, so I think she'll show up at some point.
Okay.
She has everything that Vince McMahon looks for, though, so I can see her just being a singles competitor and being stuck on main event for a while. But
by the way,
go ahead.
Sorry. Did you see the other night they on 205 Live they had like Joe Gacy and somebody else? I think it was Josh Briggs, and I'm like, those guys are definitely 250 pounds. So, like, they're actually having people that are not 205.
I didn't even know 205 Live was still a thing.
I know, but
I think I see it every once in a while on YouTube. But
anyways, the next match I have listed on here is Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. It's got to be Dakota, right?
I would hope so. I'd love to see Dakota given the spotlight for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting.
That's a tough one too, though. Like, it's with everything that's happened in NXT in the last few weeks and them talking about just like scrapping NXT, how it is right now, like it's kind of got me bummed out for this pay-per-view. Like it's almost like, I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't care.
Okay.
But I know there's going to be amazing matches. But no, I think Dakota Kai.
Okay.
By nefarious winning.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she has another, because it's got. I mean, these two have always been compared to Diesel and Shawn, and if you remember, after Shawn left Diesel, he got Sid.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, there might be,
which I don't know how Dakota Kai can hit her finisher on Gonzalez.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't look believable. But still, I think Kai's going to take it.
And this is a match I think could possibly steal the show. It's LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Championship. If Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase becomes LA Knight's butler. It's got to be Cameron Grimes, right?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
It needs to be Cameron Grimes. Like, I mean, this is one of the stories that I would like to see drag on a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't see DiBiase coming down to be a weekly role on NXT. So my money's on Grimes.
Yeah, he's got coffee to sell. He's got all sorts of ventures with his ministry and stuff.
Oh yeah, I led the worship team at an event that he was speaking at.
What?
And this was probably about 5 years ago. He was speaking up in Sturgis, and the old church that I attended, we would go up there. They do a men's conference every fall, and so we were going up there, and I had no idea who was speaking until like the day before. I was like, "Oh, so who's the speaker?" And the worship pastor was like a Ted DiBiase. I was like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And he's like, do you know who he is? I was like, I'm kind of having a panic attack right now. But no, actually, I got to sit and talk with him. We had lunch together.
Oh my God.
And I got to sit and talk with him afterwards. And he's such a down to earth guy.
Really?
And it was cool because I think I was the only guy in the room that was really, really getting what he was talking about, because he told so many stories about Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair and just being on the road and like his walk, like being a Christian and dealing with, like WWE in the 90s. And I talked to him, because I mean, when Stone Cold did the Austin 316 King of the Ring speech, he was still the ringmaster, and so I asked DiBiase, I was like, what was your take on that? And he's like, honestly, he's like Steve walked to the back not even knowing what he said. Like, he didn't think anything of it. He thought it was going to be a throwaway line and just went about his night. And I was like, really?
What?
He's like, yeah. He's like, he didn't mean anything by it. He just thought it would be something that would get him a little bit of heat, and he would keep going.
And then the next night, Austin 316 signs everywhere.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's amazing.
Wow.
But to get and sit and hear all these stories about, like he talked about Eddie quite a bit, and it was so cool, but yeah, it was one of those surreal moments because like $1 Million Man was, one of my favorites, growing up, like $1 Million Man and Virgil, getting to see that storyline.
Which, if you ever meet him, he'll pay you $20 just to talk to him, or he'll have you pay him $20 just to talk to him.
I think,
Virgil.
Who was it? Was it me and Tyler were trying to we were seriously debating booking him to come up and have dinner with Olive Garden at Olive Garden with us.
Just to get some meat sauce.
Yeah. I used to tag him every time I would go to Olive Garden. And he would always retweet it with, "This man's living my dream."
I love that Virgil's real name is Mike Jones, because it reminds me of the rapper.
My favorite part is that he just like sets up in like subways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the final match I have written down here is Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's the old 3 stages of hell match, basically. Got a regular match, then a street fight, then a cage match. So
I'm gonna say Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep.
Just because Adam Cole's contract is officially up after Sunday. And that contract is an extension. From what I've read, he and Vince have personally sat down.
Yeah.
And they still haven't come to an agreement yet.
Oh. Okay.
I watch Adam Cole on Twitch quite a bit.
Okay.
And the other day on Twitch, he was talking about, people were asking, they were like, if you resign and you go to the main roster, what's going to happen to your Twitch channel? Because he's one of the few that can still have it, because NXT has a different set of rules and there's nothing in his contract saying that he can't stream. And his big thing was, he was like, there's nothing in place yet. He's like, but I love you guys so much, and I love doing this so much, and I love having fun with everybody, that this is not going away. This is more important to me, and I'll do whatever I have to do, but just know that, like, no matter what, Twitch isn't going away. So if that plays in me re-signing, that plays in me re-signing. So that's interesting to me, especially with Britt Baker being over in AEW and his best friends running AEW.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to stick around just because of everything he does with up, down, down.
And we need that match with him and Kevin Owens.
Oh,
we need that.
Yeah. But on the flip side, there's a lot of story to tell in AEW too.
I know.
And I feel like he would definitely be more appreciated in AEW.
Last time I knew, he was dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the main thing. I want Tony Khan to resurrect Adam Cole, to bring him back from the dead. But especially with Bullet Club being more prevalent, having Bullet Club versus the Elite, I would love to see Adam Cole get into that even more. I'd love to see AJ Styles get into it too, and Finn Balor. Just have everyone from the Bullet Club as a big blow off against the Elite. But no, my money's on O'Reilly for this one, since it's unknown what they're going to do with Adam Cole. And either way, it's how they write him out, or it's how they write him off of NXT to go up to WWE. So.
All right. So we're going to finish this off with a top 5 SummerSlam matches draft. So this can be your favorite matches. This can be, what you think is the best. Do you want to go first?
I'm going to let you go first so I can get a kind of a sense of what we're doing. I know what my favorite SummerSlam match is.
Okay.
So I've got that in my pocket. If we're doing top 5, I might need to research a little bit while we're talking.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
But hey, we can go.
So my first pick is going to be maybe arguably the greatest cage match of all time. It's Bret versus Owen Hart from 1994.
Oh, that's an amazing one.
Yeah, that's my number 1 pick.
My friend Brian was at the show that Owen Hart died at.
In Kansas City?
In Kansas City. He's from Kansas City. And he was there with his parents, and he said it was the scariest thing he's ever seen.
Oh my God.
He was like, you're just sitting there, and he was a kid, and yeah, he was like, all of a sudden you just see some guy fall from the ceiling and his face on the turnbuckle, and there's blood everywhere.
Oh,
and then they carry him out, and gosh, what a match. What a match. Yeah. My top one involves Bret Hart too, but it's not that one.
Oh,
so
you can you get 2 picks.
Oh, I get 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. It's snakes.
Okay. My number 2 then is going to be Shawn versus Razor, what we talked about earlier. 1995.
Yeah, I have that written down here, I think. But anyways, keep going in.
And do you want my number 1 then, or am I giving?
Well, it doesn't really have to go in order. It's just like your
Okay.
yeah.
Austin versus Angle. I can't remember what year it was.
Oh, 2001.
Yep, there you go. I knew it was like early 2000s.
Damn it, that was on my list.
Do you want to go again then?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So the way this goes is, I get a pick, you get two, I get two, you get two. I think I get one and then you get one, or something like that. It's like it. We'll try not to get lost in the snake, as they call it, but
that's cool. That's cool.
My number two, I feel like I have to have it because it has one of my favorite sound bites of all time. Just because my mom's name is Vicky, so it's got to be Mysterio versus Eddie for the custody of Dominic in a ladder match. And there's a part where Eddie like falls off of a ladder and it's like, where the fuck was Vicky? I love it so much.
Oh, the Dominic on a pole match.
Oh,
the look on Dominic's face. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then my number three pick. There's a lot here. So I don't want to go too heavy on Brett, even though he has a lot of great matches. Like all of his best matches were at SummerSlam.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna go with TLC 1.
that was my next one.
Okay.
That was in my next round. So yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah. What do you need to say about that other than it's probably the best TLC match of all time?
It was so good there should have never been another one.
No.
Like,
and there was 6 months later.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got Sean and Razor, Austin and Angle.
Yep.
Next to Lesnar and Cena.
Oh,
2014 when Cena just got destroyed.
Was that 2014 or 15?
2014.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to go too much into that one.
Yeah, that one. Oh my gosh, that was hard to watch.
Yeah,
that was one of the. I mean, when the crowd's just like, well, I guess Cena's dead. And then I will go for my next one. Don't pick. Taker versus Edge, Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
2008.
Okay. All right. So that's your number 4 pick.
Yep.
All right. So now I have to.
Yep.
Just the visual of Edge going through the ring and then fire coming through.
Yeah.
Oh. My number 4 pick. I'm surprised it's lasted this long. Shawn versus Triple H in 2002.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, 2002 is the greatest SummerSlam of all time. There's some other matches that could be picked from that, but I'm not going to name them right now. But yeah, that one would be number 4 for me. Number 5. You know what? I'm gonna go with it. Lesnar versus Strowman versus Reigns versus Samoa Joe from 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason being is there's a moment where Braun Strowman takes like a regular desk chair like I'm sitting in right now and throws it straight at the Samoa Joe's face.
That's right.
He just takes
seeing that. Yeah, he took like the timekeeper's chair.
Yeah.
And just hucked it at
it. Oh my God. It was so great. I loved it so much.
Oh, that is wonderful. So I've got one more, right?
Yes.
And when you said 2002 is the best SummerSlam, I'm going to respectfully disagree because I'm going to go 10 years earlier. And my number one, British Bulldog and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship in 1992.
Right.
British Bulldog was one of my favorite wrestlers when I first got into it. And seeing him win in Wembley Stadium, and just the rest of that card, Legion of Doom riding in on their bikes, like it just there's so much that I could talk about from that show.
Even though Hawk was high on something.
When weren't they, man? It was but no, that's my number one pick. That is my favorite SummerSlam memory. And with Bret, the way that he kind of no-sold after the roll-up and he popped up and looked angry, it was like you could have done the job a little better, man. You know, but no, that was just the crowd pop, the hometown, the crowd itself, everything about it was just gold. So
I have a whole list of honorable mentions. I'm sure you probably have some in mind. I'm gonna rattle off a few of them. Ravishing Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior from '89 was fantastic.
Man. You're going way deep.
I know.
I love Rick Rude.
Taker versus Mankind, the Boiler Room Brawl from '96. That was great. Hart Foundation versus Demolition in a 2 out of 3 falls match in '90. That's probably the last great Hart Foundation match.
You're not wrong. I was just watching, speaking of Demolition, the first Royal Rumble. Was it the first Royal Rumble? When they drew 1 and 2?
Oh,
no, it was 89. 89 was when they drew 1 and 2 and just beat the hell out of each other. Axe and Smash were cool. But anyway, I'm sorry. I can
Brett versus Taker at 97 with the turn of Sean led to a lot of stuff. Rock versus Triple H, the first time we ever really thought, holy shit, this Rock guy can kind of go.
Yep.
Mysterio versus Angle from 2002, probably the best opening match in SummerSlam history. Angle versus Brock in 03.
That was a good one too.
Mm-hmm. Brett versus Perfect in 91.
That was a tough one. That was on mine before I picked Austin Angle because it kind of took it over a little bit. What about Test and Shane McMahon?
Oh, the lover
lever match.
Yeah. With the Mean Street Posse sitting there on like a couch.
With Kyle and Pete. Yep.
Mega Powers and Mega Bucks in '88, the first one where Liz takes off her skirt to reveal that she's got underpants on. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was Billy Graham was on the call, and he just like good lord, give that man a towel, wipe him down. The Legion of Doom beating the Nasty Boys, I remember being great in '91.
I remember I saw the Nasty Boys at one of the Road Wild events up in Sturgis. And there was a dude that always used to like park ringside, and he had like this big, huge buffalo helmet.
Yep.
And I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Brian Knobs grabbed it from him and put it on. And then he went to like run around the ring, and like he was like on a bike and then flipped and then just ate it. The entire crowd just busted up laughing.
Yeah. I've met both of them, both of the Nasty Boys. I met them at WrestleMania at the WrestleCon Hotel.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. They weren't looking in the best of health, but I mean, yeah. Shawn versus Vader was great, by the way. That's another match.
Yep.
96.
Even one of the newer ones. Bryan versus Cena. What was that? 2012, 2013?
2013. Yeah. I have a weird match on this list. Steve Blackman versus Shane McMahon from 2000.
Was that the one where Shane went off the
he
Blackman was just like beating him, and then he just like took the bump?
Yep, and he fell like 50 feet.
Yep.
Punk and Jeff Hardy in 2009 was pretty damn good.
That was a good story. That was
Well,
I loved when Punk would bust out the I'm straight edge and I'm better than you,
mm-hmm.
especially when he used to do that in Ring of Honor. Did you ever see Punk's invisible microphone gimmick? He would walk around and he would like hold a microphone like during a match. And he would like trash talk the crowd. And it was when he was like really leaning into his straight edge gimmick. And he'd be like, I'm straight edge. I'm better than you. What do you have to say about that? And he'd hold his hand out and people would lean in. He'd be like, I'm not holding a microphone, you idiot.
I've heard that his Summer of Punk in Ring of Honor was better than his Summer of Punk in WWE.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was, I mean, same exact story of him like running out with the title.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my gosh, the matches. Like if you haven't watched like Ring of Honor from like 2004 to 2009, some of the best wrestling, Ring of Honor and PWG.
Okay. Orton versus Christian in 2011 was a freaking banger. Way better than I remembered it being. Taker versus Lesnar in 2015 is great, if only for one thing. And on top of that, I was at the go home Raw for that SummerSlam. So
oh, cool.
That was in Minneapolis, and they had a homecoming for Brock Lesnar in Minneapolis, even though he's not from Minneapolis.
Yeah, he's from Webster.
Yeah. But he gets taken to Dick Kick City, and afterward, gets like tombstoned, and Taker walks off. The craziest thing was Undertaker was, I think he was either hiding under the ring or he came out from like literally like feet away from me. It's actually, I think we're almost, what was that, 2015? So that'd be 6 years to the day almost removed.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, because this was after the cameras had gone off, they give Brock the microphone. He's like, Taker, good one, buddy.
I was like the videos of like Bray Wyatt jumping out from under the ring and just like running back as fast as he could.
Mm-hmm.
But my first like WWE event was when I was younger. My uncle Steve took me to a house show here in Rapid, and the main event was The Undertaker versus a Berserker.
Holy shit.
And that was like gray tie Undertaker days, like early 90s. And I've never been so scared because we were sitting right up against like the entryway,
mm-hmm.
and maybe about 3 rows back from ringside. And so I'm just sitting there, and Paul Bearer walks up. And if you've never been in Paul Bearer's presence,
I never have, like, unfortunately.
He was creepy as hell. And then Taker walks up, and he's just stone cold, and then just looks at me. And I've never like booked it. Like, I mean, I ran. There was like me and like a few other kids, and we were just like, nope, we're out. But that was cool. That was the main event of that night. I got to see The Undertaker. I got to slap tummies with Kamala and Reverend Slick. I got to see, it was right after the barbershop with
with Shawn and
Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
And so they were actually, speaking of doing the bad thing of doing like pay-per-view shows at house shows, it was Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty because they were getting ready for their pay-per-view match. And Jannetty went over in that match, which I thought was really weird.
Whoa.
And then I got to see High Energy. I want to say it was High Energy. I think it was High Energy versus the Head Shrinkers, but I'm not 100%. But getting to see Owen Hart and Coco Beware was just so freaking cool. But yeah.
So, I mean, if we're trading stories of first shows, my first one was, it was on my best friend's birthday. I remember it. It was August 2nd, 1999. It was a Monday Nitro in Sioux Falls. And the main event was Goldberg and Sting versus Rick Steiner and Sid Vicious. And then Hogan was on commentary. And Hogan gets power bombed by his Road Wild opponent, which was Kevin Nash, gets power bombed through a table. I walk down there and I'm like, is he okay? like, you good, Hulk? You good?
I met.
But
go ahead. Sorry.
That show also had it had, I believe it was Eddie Guerrero versus Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
Which I think that was a match. I swear, like that. I have to go back and actually see. I know Perfect was there. I know that Rodman confronted Macho Man.
Okay.
At that show, but the show started off with a United States Championship match between DDP and Chris Benoit. Holy crap.
My gosh.
Imagine how that show would have.
I saw
Rey Mysterio without his mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I forgot about those days. Did you go to any of the Road Wild or Hog Wild events in Sturgis when they were here?
I didn't.
It was you can go back and watch them on I imagine they're probably on Peacock.
Yeah,
but they were definitely on the WWE network. They did a free pay-per-view in Sturgis for I think 4 years.
Yep.
The first year that I went was the first time that I got to meet DDP. I've met him like 4 times and he's such a cool guy.
Okay.
But I've got this photo of after he gave me his autograph, he was like, "Do you want a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And so he pops a Sharpie in his mouth like a cigar. And he's like, "I'll just grab you around the neck a little bit." And I was like, "Okay." And then he just chokes me. And so it's DDP doing his like signature, like kind of like grin with his cigar in his mouth, and me just bright red faced because I feel like I'm about to pass out. And then that was the same night we always kind of hung back a little bit. And I think it was the same show, being so long ago and going to all of them, but this was the coolest moment of me being a wrestling fan. Like I didn't mark out for a lot of people. Kevin Nash like no sold me when I tried to give him a high five in the back. But we kind of stood towards the back, like there was the entryway, and then there was a bunch of tents behind that, and that's where all the wrestlers were hanging out. So me and my friends would hang out back there because we were like, oh, we'd see him come walking by. You know, I got to meet like Chavo Guerrero and all that. And he was going back to the Nasty Boys thing. It was the same show that one of them like slipped and ate it when they were running around in the ring. I was leaning up against the railing, and like next to me, I hear this laugh, and it was a very distinct laugh. And I turn and I look, and there's Ric Flair in his robes. Like, I mean, full on 100% Ric Flair. And I did not know what to say.
Oh my God.
And he was just like, "You enjoying the show?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Have a good night, man." And he just walked away. And I was like, what just happened? But coolest night. Right. Absolute coolest night.
That seems like a good story to end on. The guy who he just got the message that I sent him 5 hours ago. So I'm gonna have to talk to him now. So thank you for coming on though.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime.
Yeah,
anytime. And I'll let you know. I've got a couple of shows that are in the works that I was planning on reaching out to you to, because I think there's room for a lot of really good conversations to be had there. Some stuff that's going to be right up your alley. So
I like the sound
we'll talk
of this.
about that soon, and maybe we can come back and talk about that a little bit more another time.
All right.
So,
all right.
But cool, man. Thanks for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I really enjoyed this.
Yep. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. You have a good one.